Need for Speed Unbound, but it's crunch time. The Underground update is coming very soon. In fact, according to the game, we are but 17 days away. I can't get it. This car is amazing. By the way, in case you didn't know, you can do the speed pass offline now, which is amazing. So 17 days is when volume 6 ends. Putting that into a date calculator says the 20th is the date the update's coming out. However, they never release updates on Mondays, so it's probably a Tuesday, the 21st. Though if I'm wrong, I'm happy about that. That's a good thing. And they actually did release some news that's going to affect this volume, the previous volume, number 6, that we're currently on, and of course all the future volumes to go along with it. I don't know what's happened to this M3. This Unite mod has made it so squeaky. This is probably blending the new and old sound. Whatever. What's new? This new article just dropped that's giving us an update on how the paid DLC is gonna work, and also how the free updates are gonna work going forward. There's a bit of a change, and it's actually a really positive one. So the pass is being split into 45 free tiers and 30 premium tiers. That was similar to how it worked before, but now we know the numbers, which is which is nice. The car you can now buy cheaper and completely separately if you wish to do so. Now, this is the table that they made. It's a little confusing, but essentially you can buy the car separate after the season is over for now $5, and you can buy a catch-up pack for $3, which unlocks all the free tiers if you didn't have premium, and all the paid tiers if you did have premium. I made a little bit of a nicer graph, but again, this all adds up to a bigger picture. Here's my table in case this is a little bit easier for you, but it should explain the process. But they have confirmed that in every update, every new season that we're getting, one paid car and one free car, at least. I just realized I probably put a supercharger in here. That's why it's weird. It's too loud. So this Audi RS6 that was previously part of the premium pass, you can buy the car separately after the next season comes out for $4.99 in dollars. And so therefore, like, probably like £4, something like €4. We'll see. The conversion may be brokey. And of course, the other free cars in this update were the Audis returning. If you want any more info on that, I will link it down below in the description. But that is the basics of how the DLC stuff is changing. Now, just to, again, avoid boring into about how things cost money, I of course wanted to come in and make sense about what the update actually is gonna be, because that is probably the most important element that people are kind of gonna be wondering about. So for example, if you didn't know, this is going to be the Need for Speed Underground inspired update. So what Need for Speed is doing with their Kaizen idea is adding things to the game that are maybe small, but also then completely changing direction if they don't really go to plan. Or if they do go to plan, build upon it, make it bigger, make it better, make it more important, bigger. It's a really cool way of doing it, because obviously things, when they're a small team specifically, but in general, when developers spend so long on something that's just so nonsensical, what was the point in you spending 6 months dev time on something and then throwing it away because no one played it? This makes a hell of a lot more sense. And of course, being a smaller team, it's kind of what they can provide, is that or nothing. Now, you might remember this Buick, which pretty much hinted at them doing a drag update. Well, drag racing in the game full stop, because we do not have drag racing in the game at all currently. It actually wasn't even Need for Speed Heat, so this is a new feature they're building that was in Need for Speed Payback, but ultimately it wasn't great. For anyone that remembers, it felt very tacked on, very rushed, very last minute. After the success of 2015, the drag racing was added in that game. They had the thought to keep it because they had it in the previous game, and it just wasn't great to the point where they, well, removed it. Now they've been able to focus. I'm so sorry. Bro, how is that cop still alive? Oh, no! But the idea is they've now built it. It's going to work online. Of course, that's going to be the main focus. And we'll be able to have... well, the full details are not set in stone. Those are things we're hopefully going to find out maybe just before the update. If not by them themselves, you know, you're already in the right place to see stuff as soon as it's possible. The reason they're actually calling it the Underground update is because the theme is underground, not just drag and drift, but the theme of likely the cars and other aspects of the update we don't yet know about. So again, they've now laid the foundation by adding the PvP to the game, separating the free roam and of course separating the PvP. They of course now are saying that they're going to add 2 cars per update, which means, well, hopefully they're underground themed. Now, there aren't that many cars in Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2 that aren't available in this game, so it's kind of anyone's guess as to what these cars are going to be, but I'm sure customizations wise they're going to go a little bit crazier than normal, hopefully. So it's not only drag that's being added, we're also getting drift. Now, if you're confused because you're like, well, drift's technically already in the game, why? That would be completely fair because yes, drift is officially in the game and it felt very last minute added on. By the way, this is not the standard vanilla drifting. This is slightly modified with the Unite mod. And what we're expecting at the moment is for them to create a new way of drifting that was hinted at in the call that they did. I'm gonna keep getting the police after this whole video. Creep! Oops. And if they're going to the point where drifting is actually gonna feel different, I really hope lane switching is in it. Look, I've been asking, I think that's one huge factor that made the payback drag stuff just not that interesting. Even the 2015 stuff, not that interesting. Lane switching adds a new element of gameplay and it makes it more fun. You know for a fact a lot of us figured out how manual even works because of Need for Speed Underground. If you can teach me to use manual, well, not me. If you can teach people how to learn manual, they're gonna be grateful. Need for Speed told me how to drive. And you know, you goddamn Americans need to learn how to I'm sorry. Hey, you're gonna make the world a better driver. I'm for it. So what I'm really hoping for along with that is drag tires, and I think it'll be really cool to see them improve the top speed based on it, but reduce cornering. That'll it'll shake up everything because we know all the meta cars like the Regera, but to make them not the only meta cars anymore by adding new classes of events to actually partake in. And of course I really hope that all the PvP events for that little while become drag and drift. Sure, mix it up every day. I think it swaps out every day, but for the short period of time when the update's out, make sure everyone can partake in those events. That would be absolutely vital because the amount of people that still get confused by how the lobby system works, this makes so much more sense. Now, just adding drag and drift alone would be huge for the game in terms of adding stuff to try out, new gameplay to check out. But hopefully there's more than that. And the good news is we don't have to wait long to find out exactly what they've been cooking. For example, in Need for Speed 2015, what they did when they added the Underground escalate update, they added a bunch of new music, which may not be the case this time, but they added Eddie, returning characters to the game, and had like a little bit of a storyline, some new events that Eddie made you go on. They had the phone call with it. I don't know, they added more Underground elements than we kind of expected, which was so wild when you think about it. So there's a chance based on the past that they could go a little bit further with this. Now, I wanted to jump back to this really quickly to give my 2 cents. And I think, again, feedback is ultimately one of the big things they're looking for. If you look all the way at the bottom of the article, everything they're talking about is always asking for feedback. And a whole big discussion could be had on how they're monetizing the game. Of course, it would be nice to get everything for free, but unfortunately, to get these updates at all, the new handling and the new modes that they decide to add, the money's gonna come from somewhere. And so that's where this monetization model comes in. Now, the car packs being separate and the price that they're at, I'm actually not, it seems like a good deal to me because you get so much customization with Need for Speed games. It just makes the amount of work that has to go into these body kits absolutely makes sense. But then also to get one of them free every update is great news. It's a great balance, and I think that's absolutely fair to me. I wouldn't say it's the best method of monetization because there's lots of them and everyone has a preference. For example, in Gran Turismo, you don't need to pay for anything in the game, but you can pay for money, and that's where their constant flow of money comes in. And also that's what inflates the prices of the cars. For example, GTA Online, you pay for money, therefore money is very worthless in that game. Forza Horizon, for example, brings out new DLC cars every month. They've also got a token system in the game, and of course they make a lot of money considering the fact it's one of the most popular games played as part of Game Pass. It's kind of a constant stream of money for them. Man, this is actually not bad drifting. With a few little tweaks. It's not the worst in the way. It's still not great. I still prefer Payback. The handbrake is so much more useful now, though. I'm really curious how it's going to change. Of course, Forza has expansion packs. In the past, expansion packs have been the way to do it. For example, the airport DLC for Need for Speed, and we've got the whole new island in Burnout Paradise that was added. You do have the Forza expansion islands, but I think they're kind of horrible in how they separate. I thought this would be a really good discussion at some point soon, is to make a dedicated video talking about the post monetization of the games, and I still think the best method of it is Midnight Club, where you got the expansion, the area for free, and then any cars and extra mission content that came as paid. I think that was absolutely the way to do it at that time. Now, one point I did want to bring up is the people that always say, oh, I've got work and I've got the kids and I don't have time to unlock these FOMO stupid things. And I appreciate that hugely. And that's why I'm going to voice out this. I also don't have all the time in the world as a content creator to unlock all the cars. I unlocked the Forza car, the new drag one, much later than everyone else because I did not want to play through all the DLC and do all this. I just didn't have the time. It's not my focus. So I want to argue, as someone that's actually not huge on the whole battle pass system myself. Helldivers, thanks to Insight Explorations Gaming, I have been playing a little bit of Helldivers actually, and their system is actually not too bad. Wouldn't a better way be to make these packs permanent? Right now the system is to unlock the next thing by going up levels, and I do think sometimes that might be just a little bit like, what if I want specifically this rim and I have to grind for so long to get it? Okay, so long is an overestimation. It's actually a pretty quick path. But what if I specifically wanted to go for that thing and I had to do a specific challenge to unlock that thing? Or hell, if you kept this system completely, let people jump back and forth between different passes, the active pass, because I think that would be the best way short term. But long term, I'm thinking like a menu of all the passes that you've got or have unlocked or have purchased, and you complete specific challenges, usually in the car that's free, to then unlock the special version of the car, like the R8 that we had, the Darius one. I say you unlock this by using the normal R8 and doing a bunch of cop related challenges that specifically then unlock this version for you. I think that's just a really sick idea, because my problem with normal DLC cars that you just throw out and assume people are gonna lap them up and just, oh, this is the best thing ever. They don't add any new gameplay. There's nothing new for me to do. Just give me new gameplay. That is the most important element to any game. Things to do, things to play. God damn, what the hell happened to you? But I'm not going to sit here and say cars are not important. Cars are important. I just think that they're less important than new gameplay. That's my stance. Like, you need some incentive. And a new car is a pretty good one. But new gameplay. All right, check out these videos. These are very good. I know. I made it.